Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome to my kitchen today. I'm excited to be here. I hope you are too. As we get going on this live broadcast, I am live today. I'm live on YouTube as well as on Facebook, and you are welcome to join in and ask questions. And when you hop on, please say hello as we check out technology and make sure that we're all connected before we get into this live recipe demo using the air fryer, the Instant Pot, and a lot of other things too. I'm excited to be here. All right, I'm getting the thumbs up on YouTube, both Facebooks. Haha, wonderful. Okay, and I see people hopping on. Hello, Chris. How are you? Chris is from California. I am Rebecca, and I am broadcasting live on Facebook, both on Devour Dinner's Facebook page as well as Best Cookie Recipes Facebook page today, because I'm making cookies. And we're gonna have so much fun today. I'm gonna show you how I use one recipe to make a whole bunch of different Christmas cookies. So you can make a plate of Christmas cookies with a batch of cookies and have some fun with your friends, your family, your neighbors, and the whole 9 yards. So welcome, welcome. When you hop on, please say hello. Let me know if you're here. And also give this video a thumbs up, give it a heart. Those are super important things that I so appreciate you doing. So welcome. Hi, Kathy, how are you? Kathy's from Maine. I love the little Christmas tree, Kathy. That's super fun. Is everybody ready for Christmas? I don't know that I am, but I'm excited for it to come nonetheless. There's Amy. Hi, Amy. Amy is from the Instapot 101 for Beginners group. We welcome Amy as well as her team of amazing moderators over there. They so graciously are sharing this recipe into the group. And if you are hopping over from the Instapot 101 for Beginners group, welcome. This is a safe place to ask questions. I will be using my Instant Pot to melt chocolate in just a little bit. So hang tight. We're also going to be using the air fryer to bake, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you'll hang tight and you'll ask your questions. This is a place to ask questions in real time. But let's get started. We're going to drop in the links the recipe that I'm using, which is my basic vanilla cookie recipe. This is a super simple recipe. It makes about 24 cookies. I use it in many of my cookie recipes. So I've already started mixing that up in my Bosch mixer right here, and we're gonna go ahead and continue mixing. So it is my vanilla cookie recipe. And with that, we're gonna make Grinch cookies. We're gonna make Peppermint Kiss Cookies. We're gonna make snowman cookies. We're gonna make air fryer sugar cookies rolled in sanding sugar. We're gonna have a lot of fun today, all right? So in this mixture, let me go top down, so you guys can see what I've got going here. In here, I have already started, like I said, I have a mixture of butter and granulated sugar, and I've already started creaming that so it can get light and fluffy, because that does take a few minutes. And I trust you at home, you know how to cream butter and sugar together to get it all nice and fluffy. It does turn that pale yellow color as well. And now we're gonna add to it the rest of the ingredients. So I'm gonna turn this on. It's gonna get a little loud. I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 eggs. Now I have doubled this batch, so if you're following the recipe at home, the regular recipe calls for 1 egg, but I am doubling the batch. So we're gonna add the egg mixture, or the eggs to the butter mixture, and we're gonna notice that it kind of will not be as light and fluffy for a minute. We're gonna let it do its thing. Normally at this point, I would add the vanilla extract. But today I want to show you that we're going to mix vanilla extract with some of the dough, and we're going to mix peppermint extract with other portions of the dough, so we can get a couple of flavors of cookies going on, and it'll be a lot of fun. All right, as you can see, it's pulling back together there. Now, whether you're using a hand mixer and a large bowl, or you're using a stand mixer like I am, you will want to scrape the bottoms and the sides of the bowl, and that's just to make sure that everything gets incorporated back in. I am using a Bosch universal mixer. It's what I've grown up using. I know many of you at home use a KitchenAid. Any stand mixer will work, as well as your hand mixer with a large mixing bowl. Okay, so you've got you covered here. All right, we're gonna add into this recipe I'm going to drizzle in some vegetable oil. And it's going to take a half of a cup. I'm just a smidget shy, but I think we're going to be fine. And I'm going to kind of drizzle that in. Notice I'm not putting it in all at once. Now, some of you at home are going to ask the question, why am I using butter and vegetable oil, right? It's a great question. The reason is because it adds to the texture of the finished product of the cookie, all right? And we'll get more into that because I'm also going to add powdered sugar. Now, originally I added butter with granulated sugar. We added eggs, vegetable oil, and now I'm going to add powdered sugar. This adds to the sweetness as well as the texture so that we get a nice, soft cookie. And I love this recipe. And I'm just going to put the top on it so that all of the powdered sugar powder doesn't go flying everywhere. We're going to let that mix. I'm going to scrape this down so we can make sure that we're getting everything off the sides that needs to be incorporated. But this mixture, as you can see, is super light and super fluffy. All right. See how nice and creamy that is? All right. Next, we're going to add flour. The regular recipe calls for 2 cups of flour. Now, when you measure flour at home, there's a right way and a wrong way to measure flour. And it's really important when it comes to baking because baking really is a science. If you have a kitchen scale, I recommend that you use a kitchen scale and you weigh your ingredients. It is really the best way to ensure that your cookies, your baking comes out perfect and uniform every single time. If you don't have a kitchen scale, you can do the stir your flour, stir with a whisk and get air into your flour, get it lifted up. And then carefully spoon your flour and put it into a measuring cup until it's billowing over, and then you use a knife to level off the top. Don't shake the cup or anything or it'll settle. The reason for that is you'll end up getting too much flour into the mixture. Now we're going to add to our flour some baking soda and some cream of tartar, and we're going to add this right in. I like to add a little bit at a time, but I also, because I'm using my stand mixer, I want to make sure that we don't over mix the cookie dough. There we go. And there's our vanilla cookie dough. It's that simple. This recipe is like magic. Now, I mentioned earlier that I want to add the extract after, because I'm going to separate this dough and I'm going to add vanilla extract to some, and I'm going to add peppermint extract to other portions of it. So we're going to get rid of some of these dishes. We're going to get things out of the way. Because we've got so much going on today. And I probably won't do a great job at dividing this equally, but we're going to try. Because it's not really going to matter if it's perfect or not. So we're just going to put some in each bowl, and then I'm going to hand stir in that extract. Now, feel free to use any flavor of extract. If you want to use almond extract in some of your cookies, that's totally fine. But today I'm going to use vanilla, and I'm going to use peppermint. And I know this is kind of the boring part, But I knew some of you at home would want to see the dough mixed up, and so I know how important that is too. All right, I'm gonna look over at questions while I'm separating this out. We're gonna answer some questions. So I think the first cookie we're gonna try, what should we try first? We're gonna start with our air fryer cookies. So our air fryer cookies are gonna cook at 340 degrees. If you bake these cookies in your oven, they're gonna cook at 350 degrees. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna pass this off. And we're actually gonna get rid of the Bosch. We're gonna get that moved out of the way. So that I have some room to work. What do you say about that? There we go. All right, peppermint extract. I didn't bring my measuring teaspoon over here, so I am just going to add some peppermint extract, and then we are just going to mix that in. So I put a little over a teaspoon, not quite a tablespoon, because peppermint extract is really strong. Just gonna mix that all up. You can see how quick and easy that really is if you want to separate the cookie dough out to make multiple cookies. And then we're gonna take some vanilla extract, and we're gonna cheat here. Everybody at home, I need you to help me. The red is for vanilla. I should have done red for peppermint. And the yellow spatula is the peppermint. Because trust me, I am going to get discombobulated here really quickly with everything that I'm trying to do. So we'll mix that vanilla in to make these yummy vanilla cookies. I can smell the peppermint and I can smell the vanilla. Smells really good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start preheating my air fryer up. The air fryer needs to heat up at 340 degrees for about 5 minutes just to make sure that it's good and heated up. So I'm gonna set this for 5 minutes. That'll give us time to get all of this stuff ready to go. Now, let's see, what should we do first? I know. Let's get rid of this. With the air fryer cookies, the recipe that's on my site that we'll drop in the links, I like to roll in sanding sugar. So I like to take a little bowl and I like to add sanding sugar to the bowl so that I can scoop it and I can roll it right into the sanding sugar. And we're gonna do red and green today. And my green is a really pale, it's a really nice color green. You can kind of see it over here on the side. But we're gonna scoop our vanilla or a peppermint, it doesn't matter which right now. And I'm gonna use a small cookie scoop. It is a size 60 cookie scoop. And we're just gonna take some of it. You can do them bigger. We're gonna do these in the smaller one right now. These will just make nice little cookies, which are little bite-sized cookies. And then we're just gonna roll them in the sugar. So you can kind of shake it. You can use a spoon and sprinkle it. You can flip them over. But I do like to get a good amount of sanding sugar all over these cookies. And it sometimes helps to kind of shake it up, I find. We'll do the same with the red. This red is a really pretty, it's almost like a burgundy red instead of a bright red. I think it's just gorgeous. Now again, the size 60 scoop is a nice small scoop. We can also use a larger scoop, which is a size 50, and I love using my size 50 as well. All right, I'm gonna cheat here for a minute, and we're gonna set these right on my scale while we make a few more. Because we can fit probably 9 in the air fryer. This smaller size, you could probably do 12 if you wanted. And these cookies are gonna cook from 4 to 5 minutes. When we do this little size like this, they'll cook up in about 4 minutes, which is really kind of fun because it means that you're gonna be eating cookies right before you know it. The other thing that's super fun with these cookies, this cookie dough freezes beautifully. And so what I mean by that is if you make this cookie dough and you scoop up these cookie dough balls and you freeze them like a flash freeze, pop them in your freezer. You can pull these out and put them in your air fryer and bake them up anytime you want, which means maybe you only want a small little plate of cookies before bed. Maybe you just want 6 little cookies so that everybody has 2 little treats before they go off to sleep. You can do that. Or maybe you just need a quick Santa cookie to leave on a plate for Santa, but you're so busy on Christmas Eve you don't have time to bake. Well, I'll tell you what, take the time and make these cookies up now because it makes a difference later. It'll save you time. Do you guys like my Santa hat today? I see a comment about my Santa hat. Trying to be fun and festive for you guys. All right. We're gonna get those going. We've got 1 minute left in our air fryer. So we're gonna put those in the air fryer. I am gonna use a sheet of parchment paper so that the cookies don't stick. My parchment paper does have holes in it. The reason for the holes is so the air can circulate up through and it can swirl around in the basket and it can bake these cookies. That's kind of the trick. If you're using parchment paper that doesn't have holes in it, that air is not flowing around well. All right, I promise you. All right, we're gonna put that in there. Now remember, this is hot, do not touch it. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to put these cookies in. I should have made one more red, but that's all right. There we go. So we're gonna bake these up. I'm gonna bake them for 4 minutes and then test them. This is gonna go by fast. We're gonna go ahead and bake. All right. Now let me clean up some of this space and we're gonna get some cookies and we're gonna put them on a baking sheet. Now that you've seen me do them in the air fryer, I just want you to know that the air fryer is a possibility to use cookies and cook them quickly. They do cook smaller batches, but they are wonderful. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make some of this dough into some colors because that's fun, right? So I'm gonna take, I don't know, let's get a smaller bowl. We're gonna make some red, we're gonna make some green, we're gonna leave some white. So we're gonna do that from that bowl. I'm gonna do this from this bowl. I'm gonna pull this aside. So I've got my 2 bowls sitting here. Peppermint, vanilla. Let's add to it some red in our vanilla. We might need a little more of that. These are the Amerigel food coloring. You can tell I've used these a bunch. And we're just going to mix these up. But they just make beautiful, vibrant colors. And so I like it so much better than using like the liquid drops. But you do kind of have to work it to mix it throughout. I might add a little bit more over here. Here, I'm gonna pass this off and let my husband mix up our pink over here. We might need to add a little more to that. So you'll know you're done mixing when you get to the right color. If you need to add more, add more. There is no harm in that whatsoever. Now these green ones we're going to use for Grinch cookies. And with the Grinch cookies, we're going to add to them some of these fun candy hearts. But look at the color. Is that beautiful? All right, I'm going to go ahead and start dishing up this green. Get this on a cookie sheet. We're going to move that sanding sugar out of the way. We're going to pull this in. Let's see here. I'm going to do these cookies just a little bigger, so I'm going to be using my size 50 cookie scoop. Now, you can take these and roll them in a ball when you are, if you want them in to be a full ball, but these will bake a beautiful circular size. We're gonna do 6 of those. That's great. All right, our red one is done, so let me grab that. Now look at this red. So this red still is a little pinky. We could add more to it and get it a more vibrant red, but we're just gonna leave it like this today just because of time and what we're doing. But now we're gonna get back to these Grinch cookies. You can roll these cookies in sugar if you want. In fact, I'm gonna roll a couple of them in sugar to show you the difference because, so this is regular granulated sugar. If you want, you could do the fancy, sparkly, coarse sugar, or what I like to call the little snowflake fine sanding sugar. So we'll do half of them so you guys can see the difference. There we go. All right, now we're gonna add to it, I just want the red ones, not the pink ones, but we are gonna add a Grinch heart to each one of these. I do like to offset the heart. I find that that works nicer with baking, just to have it be a little off center. And of course, these you can find on Amazon. You can find them, they're made by Wilton. And so you can find them like at Hobby Lobby or Joann's. Anywhere you find the baking supply stuff, they typically are. They're easier to find around Valentine's Day, but you can get them and you can still order them off of Amazon. So those are our Grinch cookies. Now, let's do something fun here. Oh, you guys. I don't remember which one of these bowls. If you could see this over here, I don't know what I did. We have no idea what flavor's what at this point, and I knew this was gonna happen. I'm not gonna taste it. This is our vanilla and it's red. Oh my gosh. I knew this would happen. Okay, we're gonna make some vanilla, not with that cookie scoop. I want this cookie scoop. Ooh, it's green. You know what we're gonna do? This is what we're gonna do. The inside of this is all green, so I've got to clean it out really fast. And we're gonna have a little bit of a mixture, but I know you guys at home are fine with that. There we go. Because what I also wanna make on this sheet is I want to make the snowman cookies. Because the snowman cookies are so stinking cute that they're just fun. So again, we're just going to cover these in sugar. We're gonna check on our ones that just came out of the oven here in just a moment. Now, these cookies right here, I'm rolling them in sugar and we're baking them just like this. When they come out of the oven is when we will make them into a snowman, and they are adorable. Okay, now these cookies bake in the oven, 350 degrees for 7 to 9 minutes. Every oven is different. If you haven't baked this recipe or any recipe for that fact, I suggest you bake 1 or 2 cookies first. Do a test batch. That will let you know how your oven is baking, because there's nothing worse than baking something and following a direction and having it be overbaked because your oven is hotter than the person who shared the recipe. All right, my oven, I cook these closer to the 7-minute mark because my oven heats hot. So we're gonna pop these in. These are gonna be snowman, and of course, these are Grinch cookies. Let's pass this off. Oh, is there 2 sheets there or just, no, wait, where's the other sheet? Oh, it's in front of me. You guys, I'm losing my mind. Okay, let's do something fun here. We're just gonna have some fun. This is a little 110 size, all right? And we're just going to mix these 2 together, and I'm gonna roll them, okay? See that? Kind of fun, right? I'm gonna roll this in sugar because we can, and we're gonna bake some of these up. Now, I like to mix cookies because it's pretty, it's fun. There's so many things we can do with them, right? It's fun to add like Hershey Kisses. We can make them into Peppermint Kiss Cookies, right? But why not add some color to it? Isn't that fun when we add some color? The reason I love to use cookie scoops is so that I have uniform cookie sizes. It ensures that my baking is even. And that way I know all the cookies are gonna come out the same. All right, let's do a little bit more of that, and a little bit more of this. These ones I'm eyeballing, so they are coming out, each of them just a little bit differently. They're still gonna be fun. So these ones we're gonna make into candy cane kiss cookies. And then I wanna show you, okay, we've got 6 there. That's brilliant, right? Now, let's have some fun. You guys ready? We're gonna take some of our cookie dough, right? This is our peppermint right here. I can smell it. We're gonna turn some of this chocolate. So I'm gonna take a teaspoon and a half of either black cocoa or a Dutch processed cocoa. And because my black cocoa is actually opened and my Dutch process is not, That's what we're gonna do. And we're going to mix it right into our cookie dough. Now this cookie dough is the, actually I don't even need a full tablespoon. You're gonna do like a tablespoon when you do it with a bigger batch. We're gonna have some fun. So on my website, one of my most popular cookies is my Neapolitan, where I mix a portion of strawberry cookie, a portion of vanilla cookie, as well as a chocolate. And it is, oopsies, it is wonderful, like absolutely wonderful. And it's my most popular recipe on my site. And between that and my avalanche cookie, those are the two most popular on best cookie recipes that I just love. But we're gonna make kind of a trio with the vanilla, with the chocolate, and with the red. And we're gonna use those and we're gonna dip them in some chocolate after they have baked. Doesn't that sound good? Now it is important to get all of this mixed in because one, the chocolate is not sweetened, and so you certainly don't want to take a bite of unsweetened powder, cocoa powder, so you do want to make sure that it is all mixed in really well. You probably can't see that. I'm getting there. I might cheat and start early. All right, we're gonna cheat. And we're gonna go back to, we're gonna move all of this out of the way. All right, we are gonna take some red. We are gonna take some white. See that? And I am going to take some chocolate. Now, when I do 3 tablespoons or 3 of that smaller size, this will be about the size of a size 50 cookie. See that? I'm just gonna pat it just a little bit. This one almost has a little bit of green in it, but that's okay too. Now, when you put it on your pan, do you notice how I kind of tossed it around? It's because I want to make sure on the top I can see all of the colors. Because if I can't see all of the colors, then that's not very fun to me, right? So whenever you're placing it, make sure that your cookie gets placed that's going to be visually pretty, right? Because you want to see all of those colors. That's what makes Christmas cookies so fun. Now remember, we are using some vanilla base and some peppermint base on the cookies. So we're going to have a nice flavor combination along with the chocolate. That'll be really kind of fun. All right, we're gonna make 2 more of these, and then we're gonna pass these off. These will get in the oven. The cookies that we already sent off to the oven are not quite done yet, but they will be probably by the time I get this last one done, which will be a good trade-off. And then we're gonna pull out the ones in the air fryer as well, so you can see the differences and the similarities in how those cookies come together. There we go. All right, batch number 2. We're gonna pass these off and they'll go in the oven shortly. Now, let's see here. I've got a mess going on, you guys. How are we doing over there? Natalie says, I love the idea of mixing colors. Are the air fryer ones done? Yes, I'm gonna pull those right out. Catherine says, I'm going to consider getting me an air fryer. I have to tell you, I use my air fryer and bake cookies all the time. In fact, I love cookies like before bed. I really do. And I think it's so fun. And I wish I'd had an air fryer when my boys were little, because I would have like made cookies for them for bed just to make memories. because time is so short and kids grow up so fast that I think it would have been so fun. All right, I have got my, all right, here we go. Now these have sat long enough that I can actually pull them out without using a spatula, which is actually really good. But you can see how cute these cookies are. They're still really hot to the touch. And we can actually bake some more in there if we like. But you can see how fun they are. Like super, super fun. Do we have enough light? Are we? Okay, there we are. So watch, and I break these open. They are so soft, like so soft. Those are excellent, like excellent. Now, our next cookies just came out and I need to show them to you while they're hot. So, we're gonna cheat. Let me grab them. All right, cookies in general need to sit on your cookie sheet for a minute or two, right? It's just what they need to do. Oh, these aren't big enough. Okay, I want to show you how I do the snowman cookies, but these suckers are too little. Will you check in that bag right there and see if the discs are larger quickly? See how cute the Grinch cookies turned out though? So when I make snowman cookie, you want to use one of these discs, but you need the bigger size. This one is too small. Yep, those are better. No, those are the same. Give me that one. Just throw me that. Let's see if these ones are bigger. And they are. There we go. Okay, see the difference between these and these? You want the bigger sized ones. You're gonna put these on your cookies when they're hot. Now these was the bigger size scoop, remember? And this is the smaller size scoop. So you could do this on a smaller cookie just fine. But if you get these wafers on the cookies while the cookies are still hot, these wafers are gonna melt. And ideally that's what you want them to do. All right, because we are gonna turn them into snowman cookies. And how we're gonna do that is we're gonna take miniature Reese's peanut butter cups, and we're going to cut those in half. And the heat from the cookie will melt this so that it sticks to the cookie. Okay? But the trick is being ready with all of this when the cookies come out of the oven. And I may have missed that window because I was talking. But we're still gonna get the gist of this. So I cut the Reese's peanut butter cup in half and it forms the little hat of the snowman. See how cute that is? And then as this piece melts, I'm gonna add to it 2 little black dots for eyes, and you can use the mini chocolate chips, and I'm gonna add a little carrot nose. But you need these little wafers to be melted so that you can stick your candy to it. Make sense? So they're little thumbprint snowman cookies, so easy. But it makes it fun because it's so different with the same base cookies, right? I wanna see a lot of thumbs up for this because it's just fun to be able to do. Our Grinch cookies, so these are the ones that we did not roll in sugar. I don't know if you can see that. And then these are the ones that we rolled in sugar. There's not a ton difference. These didn't spread a whole lot, which is great. So we're gonna move these off. To get over here. Now, when you're baking, the reason you use 2 baking sheets is so that you're not using a hot baking sheet to put more cookies onto while you're waiting for that batch to be done. Because if you did, those cookies would start heating up, the butters would start melting, and they would start spreading and going flat. which is why many of you have the struggle of why did my cookies spread? It's because you're using a hot pan. Ideally, you should be using 3 pans, but most people don't have 3 pans. So when you're putting new cookie dough onto a baking sheet, you do want to make sure that baking sheet has cooled off, or that those cookies are on that pan the least amount of time possible, so that they don't like melt. All right, we're gonna see if this is, yep, we can tap these in there. Ooh. This needs to melt a little more before we're gonna be able to get these in. That is one funny looking snowman. So these have got to sit and wait for a minute. So I'm gonna show these to you again. We're getting dark in here. I'm gonna open these windows, see if we can get some light. See if that, oh, no, not really. All right, what questions? Kathy says, very cool. Are the wafers chocolate? Natalie, the wafers are a white chocolate. So yes, hello, hello. Let's go ahead and drop the vanilla cookie wafers again. So we have those dropped. We're gonna get our next pan going. I'm gonna use the chocolate dough and we're gonna cook up some chocolate cookies because I wanna dip those in white chocolate. And we're gonna pull out our Instant Pot and I'm gonna show you how I melt chocolate that keeps chocolate a constant temperature, that doesn't scorch, that doesn't burn, that makes it wonderful for dipping chocolates. And this works whether you're dipping cookies or you're dipping even just like Buckeye candy or whatever. It's not strictly limited to just chocolate cookies, right? Okay. My little hands, there we go. They're not as steady as they once were. There we go. Do you see how cute those are? Do you see how all of a sudden by adding 2 little eyes and a little candy nose that pretty quickly we have a darling little snowman. You can see why you have to act quickly, which is, oops, probably one of the hardest things with this recipe is you have to act quickly if you're going to add embellishments on top. All right, there's our snowman. Simply adorable. Because the cookies are now set up, I can carefully move these off. How much time do those cookies over there have? Okay. All right, I'm gonna scoop up some cookies, some chocolate ones really fast. Actually, no, I'm not. We're gonna switch this out because we gotta get some chocolate on these other ones. So hold on to this. Don't take that away. I'm gonna eat that. Here's our cookies right here. In theory, you're not trying to do all these cookies at once. So you're already gonna have these unwrapped. And these are the Peppermint Hershey Kisses, the ones with little bits of candy cane already in them. When those cookies come out of the oven and they're hot, that is when you want to press the chocolate right into the top. See how easy that is? Of course, you could have done a red and white cookie instead of a red and green cookie. And of course, this can all be done for different holidays to match whatever you're doing. As these cookies sit, that chocolate from the Hershey Kiss will kind of melt. So you don't want to touch it because it will melt and then it will harden. But when it hardens, it sticks to that cookie and it's perfect. All right, we need Let's see what we got here. Oh, I need a vanilla cookie. Do I have vanilla left? I do. All right, on our last batch, we're gonna make some vanilla. I'm gonna pass this off. Hold on. Just leave these right here. All right. Let's do now these cookies I am going to make into Santa hat cookies. And I'm going to do that with some red frosting. I think I'm out of dough there. All right. Let's also make some chocolate. This dough, because I've mixed and mixed it, and the chocolate specifically, is a little drier, but it's still good. There we go. All right, we're gonna pass these off into the oven. We're gonna get that chocolate melting. This is gonna be great. You guys, have I gone crazy yet? I was telling Amy that this might be a crazy, crazy fiasco today, trying to do all of this. But it's gonna be a lot of fun trying. I think it's been fun. Have you guys had fun? Okay. Now, I'm gonna clean this up and we're gonna pull out the Instant Pot, which is, I know why you're here. I know you want to use your Instant Pot to melt chocolate because I do all the time. So we're clean now. Let me grab it. In your Instant Pot, you're gonna fill the bottom about this far with water, okay? 2 inches, 3 inches. You don't want the bowl to be touching the water. You want to use a bowl that sits down in but doesn't touch the water and it doesn't fall in. All right, we're going to turn this on and we're going to turn this to saute. Because you know with your Instant Pot that when you turn on saute, that bottom element is going to heat up, right? It's just what happens. So it's going to heat itself up, and what it's going to do is it's going to bring that water to a boil. And as it brings that water to a boil, it's going to heat this glass bowl. So you do want to use a glass or a metal bowl. We're going to put inside of it some chocolate. So I'm using some Guittard white chocolate, and it melts so beautifully. You could use a Ghirardelli. You could use one of these white melting wafers. You can use chocolate chips, semi-sweet, milk chocolate, whatever you want. You can put in here. All right, so we're just gonna throw a bunch of that in. And we're gonna dip cookies, and we're gonna drizzle chocolate on cookies, and we're gonna do all these different things. Why? Because it's fun, it's festive, and there's so much we can do with it. We can add to it some sprinkles after we've dipped. We can add to it some candies, little candies. You can even do some jimmies. And we're not only gonna dip the cookies that I have that we've made, but I'm gonna dip some Oreos as well, because there's a really fun Christmas tree Oreo that's 100% no bake that is my friend's recipe, and it's darling cute. And so we're definitely gonna do that. But we gotta get this heating up. Oh, Kathy, yes. So Kathy says, you mentioned freezing the cookie dough. Do you have to thaw it out before air frying it? And does the time change because they are frozen? So I do find that you do need to like add a minute to it. These cookies, so these little cookies right here, when they are air fried, like you notice they don't, there we go. They don't spread out like this. Now I know this is a bigger cookie size, but look at the difference. Okay, now look at this one. Do you see the difference? In the air fryer, they don't flatten out like they do in the oven. So when you when you bake frozen cookie dough, it will stay a little bit taller that way, but it still bakes up the same. If I'm doing a larger one, I will add more time. These little guys, I typically don't, because they cook up so fast and they just seem to thaw really fast too. And so I don't. I also find the texture of the air fried cookie dough almost does that burst in your mouth. It's a drier texture. Where a cookie baked in the oven, you will get the more chewy texture with a crispy outside but chewy center. And with air fry, I notice it's more, I'm not gonna say dry because it's not a dry cookie, but it just bursts in your mouth, which I also really love. All right. Kathy, I just read your comment. Kathy says, you're doing a great job, Rebecca. Big hugs, friend. I love that so many of you come back week to week to see my crazy antics. I'm not gonna lie. Today's has been fun. And it's a lot different than what you normally see on a recipe demo. But I really thought it'd be fun to show you all how to use your air fryers and bake cookies because it's so simple. My chocolate chip cookie recipe that I love, I have a constant supply of cookie dough in my deep freeze because the teenagers come over and they just want a cookie or two and they just pull it out. And it's wonderful. Like I said, with this cookie dough, make some up today or tomorrow and flash freeze it. And what I mean by that is scoop your cookie dough and put it on a baking sheet and throw it in your freezer till it's hard. And then you can pull it out and put it in a Ziploc bag and keep it in your freezer. Because I guarantee you, on Christmas Eve, as you're getting those kids ready for bed and you're exhausted and you remember you need cookies for Santa, you're gonna be so glad you can just pull these out of the freezer and you can pop them into your air fryer and you can let your children help, and they've helped to make cookies for Santa and they're thrilled. I know as a mom, I was a failure at that. And there were some times Santa got packaged cookies and it's just what it was. And I, as a mom, felt so bad. So I'm here to help you. That was one of my mom pains. And I don't want you to have to deal with that same mom pain like I did. Hi, Denise, how are you? And Denise, you are just fine. You can catch the replay, you can hang in. Doing Christmas shopping, I love it. Today is the busiest Christmas weekend shopping of the year. The stores are crazy, I totally get it. I am so grateful to all of you who join in on my lives and are a part of this. Like seriously, big, big hugs. I'm here because of you, and because you're here, I'm here, and that's what I love.
Other questions? One, the sugar cookie dough, can you roll it and do cookies?
Oh, okay, so there's a question that I missed, and the question was, is this dough cookie dough that you can roll out and use cookie cutters? The answer is no, don't do that. This is a soft, no-chill sugar cookie dough, so it is not a sugar cookie cutout dough. I do have sugar cookie cutout dough on my website. That is a wonderful recipe. It's makes really good cookies that don't spread a whole lot, that you can use your cookie cutters with.
Another question of how you keep the water from spurting around the bowl.
Okay, so another question that was put is somebody's asking, how do you keep the extra water or steam that comes off of your Instant Pot from spurting? Because obviously we don't want any of that water in with our chocolate or it will seize. So the trick is, as all of this is melting, is it going? Is it still on in the front? Oh, yep, it is. We're gonna start to get some of it that comes out, and what I notice is it'll come in one section. And as it comes in one section, I just let the steam go off in one direction. And so it doesn't really have a problem. But once your chocolate's all melted, we're gonna turn the saute off and we're gonna put it to keep warm. And that's what's gonna keep your chocolate warm literally all day. So that you could melt chocolate and let it go all day long if that's what you wanted. Guess what? We got cookies. So while we're waiting for this to melt, we're gonna get cookies on our cooling rack because we can. So let me grab these cookies and get these things off. Because we got a lot going on here today. And we're gonna be over time, and I so apologize. You all know I like to keep these to an hour, but I wanted to show you how many cookies you could make with one recipe. Because making batches of cookies is exhausting and hard, right? Who wants to raise your hand? Give me the thumbs up, give me those hearts. I see these amazing people who make all these cookie trays. And I wish I was Wonder Woman like they are. I'm not. I need tips and I need tricks. And these are the tricks that I use to do this. All right, you guys remember our vanilla cookies and our chocolate cookies? All right, I'm gonna pull them off and I'm just gonna let them be over here on our cooling rack to cool. The vanilla cookies we're going to make into Santa hats. You guys, this is so stinking easy. So Santa hats, we're gonna use red buttercream frosting. I'm cheating today and I'm using store-bought frosting because that's what works for me. And you just swirl and pile it up and top it with a marshmallow. Seriously, it's that easy. Uh-oh, I'm smushing my cookies. Trying to get them all onto this cooling rack. I'm about out of room. All right. That can just sit for a minute. We're not quite to that yet. Okay. So I can hear it down there and I can hear it starting to not come to a simmer yet. We're not quite there. But as you can see on top, see how those bottom pieces are melting? See that? That's exactly what we want. So we're just going to stir this as we need to. How many different cookies do we have so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 different cookies we've made today. We're going to throw one more in there for 8. How's that? I was a little overzealous here. Kind of fun though. Oh, Kathy. Kathy says, can you use the Instant Pot melting method for fondue? Seems like it would work really well. I haven't tried it. I think it probably would work for most things. Now, when I say that, let me be specific. A lot of times when you do fondue, you might be cooking raw meats. I don't think you'll have enough heat temperature in your fondue to cook meats. So no. If you're doing like a cheese sauce, I think you could heat up a cheese sauce enough, I think. I have not tried it, but it'd be worth testing. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, I'm gonna drop a link in. Kathy says, wow, 8? I know, right? So for those of you who are just joining in, remember I'm live right now. So if you add questions later, I'm gonna circle back around and I will answer your questions. I'm live on Facebook, both on my Devour Dinner Facebook page, as well as Best Cookie Recipes. Amy from Instant Pot 101 for Beginners has also shared this broadcast into that group as well. It is also on YouTube for Devour Dinner. So we're broadcasting this a lot of places. And if you're watching on any of those platforms, big hugs from me. Thank you, thank you. But leave your comments. I'll circle back around and I'll answer those. I started by making a double batch of my vanilla cookies. And then I separated the cookie dough And I added peppermint extract to some and vanilla extract to others because I want 2 different flavors, right? I also took some of the cookie dough and I added some black cocoa powder so I could get some dark cookies because that's fun too, right? We then colored some red, we colored some green. We've added peppermint candy cane cookies or candy cane kisses to some of them to make these little darling cookies. We've made some snowman cookies, which are setting up, but they look like that. Like, I'll show you up close when we can get back to this top-down camera. As well as we kind of made a red chocolate and white cookie, and we're gonna drizzle some white chocolate onto that. Now you can see almost all of that chocolate is melted. It's just a little bit lumpy. At this point, we can turn it to keep warm because the residual heat will melt the rest. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this to keep warm. There we go. So by keeping warm, it's gonna turn off that bottom element of saute, and we're gonna have less steam going on. You can see the steam's coming on out here. And you'll notice that there wasn't a lot of steam and things going on to begin with because it happens so fast. Where am I? Oh, it's under here. Okay, let me grab. I'm gonna start by dipping some Oreos because I really wanna show you this Christmas tree cookie, Oreo cookie recipe, and I need these to harden. So I'm just taking Oreos and I am just dipping the bottoms, and then I'm just gonna place them on a parchment lined baking sheet. Now this recipe is from my friend and her blog, her website is Fresh April Flowers. You might remember I shared her buttercream cookbook that's for sale. Her recipes are magnificent. If you ever need a cookie recipe or a dessert recipe, let me tell you, she's your gal. But these cookies have gone crazy on her website, and I wanted to show you how easy they were in case you needed to take something to a party and you needed to wow people, but you're busy and you're working and you don't have a ton of time. So it's hard to see. I'm just dipping half, right? I'm just doing half. We're gonna let those harden. So I'm gonna let those sit there. Then I'm gonna get some of these chocolate cookies. So these are the all chocolate ones that we did. And I'm gonna use this spatula and I'm gonna drizzle because drizzling can be also very, very fun. Oh, this is not drizzling well. Now, you can drizzle half of it like this. See that? Okay, it makes for just a fun little cookie being drizzled. We could dip it. We could do it a fatter drizzle. We could just cover half of it. You just do that. Okay, I dropped the cookie. Did you guys see that? That one didn't work out so well. I like drizzling it better. I think the drizzling adds character and personality. It also doesn't add a whole lot of extra sweetness, but I think when it's put on a cookie tray, it just is a fun, it's fun. It just jumps out on your plate because remember on cookie trays, you want the texture, you want the color, you want all the elements. And that's what makes a cookie tray so popular is the variety of that. Now, to our Oreo cookies that we're gonna finish off, as soon as that chocolate is melted, we're gonna drizzle a little bit of, we're gonna add some green candy wafers that we've melted. And I've got those melted over off in the microwave because it's easier. But we have to wait until this chocolate is hardened so that we can do our thing on top. And it'll harden up here really pretty quickly. But in the meantime, let's bring these back over because I need to show you. Remember our white cookies? They're almost cooled. There we go. So if you were using a buttercream frosting, put a fun and fancy tip on it, or snip the edge of your piping bag or your Ziploc bag. And honestly, start wide, because remember, this is going to be Santa's hat. And everybody loves a good frosting. Now this store-bought frosting likely won't sit up as tall as if you made buttercream at home. We're just gonna put a marshmallow on top. Because of the white cookie and the red frosting, it's a little Santa hat. Isn't that cute? Again, it's just something different to add to your cookie tray. But you can see how simple and how easy it is. Kind of fun. We'll do one more of these. And then I'm going to go back to my Oreos. So this store-bought frosting is not going to hold up, and it's running. So we might get kind of a hot mess out of it, but I guarantee you next Christmas, I will have this on my website with a buttercream frosting that we pipe up. It'll be wonderful. Simply wonderful. Okay, we're gonna do these Oreos really quickly. We need a piping bag. So I am using green candy wafers. Because I'm only using a small amount, I did melt them in the microwave. When you're dipping a lot of cookies, use your Instant Pot. It is genius. It is such a time saver. You can also switch the bowls out and do chocolate, like milk chocolate, and then a white chocolate. Because what's fun about that is, if you dip your cookie, like your Oreo, then rotate the cookie 90 degrees and then dip it in like a milk chocolate, you get the double effect, which is also super simple, super easy, and a lot of fun. All right. Can we get these other lights on in the house? It got way dark over here, and I am now totally in shadows. That's about all we're gonna get. All right. I'm using a piping bag. I've used about 2 ounces of this green chocolate. Okay. You guys didn't see that happen. I usually put this in a cup to hold it, but I don't have a cup right now. So maybe we're gonna hold it against me. I hope you're laughing at home, because this is like life, real life, right? And when you're at home, you're not trying to do this live. Bill, will you drop the link again for this Christmas tree cookie? All right, this just uses a little bit of chocolate. You are gonna cut your piping bag very, 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 very small little snippet, because we're gonna drizzle and we're gonna make the cutest Christmas tree on these Oreos. I wanna get where you can see me. I know I have a pair of scissors somewhere. You guys, I need scissors. Oh, there they are. Okay. Now the trick with these tips is you never know when it's all of a sudden going to start coming out. Oh, there we go. All right. We're going to start at the top of these, and we're just going to start a little. We're going to go wider as we go. Look at that. You guys see that little Christmas tree? Now you can put on this sprinkles, like holiday sprinkles if you want. You can put on, you can leave them plain. We can put a little star at the top. You can make them thicker. See how I'm making this one much thicker? But make sure at the bottom you do that little stem. Now you can put a little chocolate jimmy down for the stem. This is going to be a fat Christmas tree right here. Look at that guy. He's like Big Daddy. Okay, so cute. I've got these little gold balls that we can put on the top. You could use like this little snowflake if you want to do a little snowflake. You can sprinkle them with little Christmas the little ball candies to make like little lights on them. Really the possibilities are endless. But look at how cute those cookies are. We could even have some fun on this bag, and we could drizzle some more. I'm going to drizzle in the opposite direction. See that? So we've got the, oh, you can't. Oh, yeah, you can. The green and the white. Because again, the fun thing about Christmas cookies is all the textures, is all the colors, is all the fun things with it. Oh, that's not dry. There we go. All right. We have got so much going on here, but I need to show you final products. So here's our little snowman cookies. Look at those. You see those? Adorable. We have Grinch cookies. Don't be a Grinch, right? We have air fryer cookies that we rolled in sanding sugar. So we rolled it in green sanding sugar and in red sanding sugar right there. We have peppermint candy cane kiss cookies. We're gonna add these over to the side. Oh, can you see those? Right? So right there, 1, 2, 3, there's 4 cookies right there. Then we're gonna add to it. Oh, we didn't dip any of these guys. Well, my little Santa hat cookies don't look so good. But you guys understand the concept. Use buttercream, top it up, top with that marshmallow. It's gonna be darling. We've got these cookies that are a 3 cookie, but we ought to dip some of those, honestly. Oh, that's kind of, woohoo. We'll put some of those over here. Those will have to cool later or add in later. But we've got the threesome cookies. We've got the plain chocolate cookies. These ones are still drying, so I can't quite, can't pick those up yet. Those are upside down for you, aren't they? There, how's that? So there's the Christmas tree ones. These are fun, drizzled in other directions too. These have to cool and chill so that chocolate hardens. You can pop them in your fridge, you can pop them in the freezer. They're fantastic. Regardless, I don't know how many cookies we did, but we did a ton today. We are well over time. I apologize, but I hope you've had a wonderful, fun time this last hour and 15 minutes learning how to take one recipe and making them into a whole cookie tray. That was on a double batch, all of these cookies. I can easily make 4 or 5 cookie trays to take to the neighbors in just that way. And I hope you guys will do this too. Have some fun this holiday season. All of the good things that there are. Chris says, so cute. Kathy says, thank you. Amy says, so cute. Kathy says, so creative on all of these cookies. Wonderful, wonderful. Remember, melt your chocolate in the Instant Pot, okay? I know we did a lot of other things, but this way of melting chocolate is hands down my favorite and the easiest, because when it's warm under here, it keeps it the perfect temperature. And if you need to heat it back up, you just press saute and warm it back up to kind of thin it out, because it will cool and it will set a little bit. And if you want it that thinner from that hotter temperature, just heat it right back up. And it is wonderful. So your Instant Pot can do so many different things. Your air fryer to cook those cookies, magical. If nothing else from this whole demonstration, I hope you will make memories with your family, whether they're children, whether they're teenagers or adults. make memories. Do cookies in the evening right before bed. Be spontaneous and make memories because life is so short. Ultimately, you hear me say this every week, be kind. Be kind to one another, but most importantly, be kind to yourself. I see you. I know how hard you're working. I know how many things you're trying to juggle. I get it because I do too. And it takes a lot of grace that we have to give ourselves when we fall short of what we think the expectation is. Remember the reason for the season. Build memories with those you love. Thank you for supporting me here. Thank you for all the hearts. If you've donated stars, thank you. Big hugs. If you've shared into groups, big hugs. Big shout out to Amy from the Instapot 101 for Beginners group, along with all of her team of moderators that are amazing, amazing. I will not be live next Sunday. Next Sunday is Christmas. I am taking it off. I am planning on coming back on New Year's Day to do a live, something fun. So plan on that in 2 weeks. Also, guess who comes tomorrow? Those of you who've watched long enough, you're shouting it from home. Little Miss and Honey Bear are coming here tomorrow. So I will be showing pictures, we'll be posting some things, and in 2 weeks they'll be here and we can hopefully get them on camera to say hello, so something to look forward to. All right, everybody, Merry Christmas. Big, 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 big hugs. Thank you, thank you. We'll see you later. Bye now.